At the end of Wind and Truth, Nightblood has that whole spiel where he's like, I'm not an object. How could he? I'm a person. I'm in charge of myself. How could he not give that whole speech if he was not in charge of his own self? Do you want to know why? He is in charge of his own self because he's hot. Except for this one person online. I don't know who you are, but you ruined my whole life because you said that at the end of Wind and Truth, at the end of the Stormlight Archives, he's going to become a real boy like Pinocchio. And that made me feel gross.
Today, I want to discuss our top 3 characters. So, do you want to start with yours?
Nightblood and Adolin and Wit.
Nightblood, Adolin, and Wit. Do you have a top 1 out of those 3, or are they just
Nightblood.
kind of all? Nightblood's the top, even though he's not like a character.
He is a character.
I mean, he's an object that talks.
You shouldn't objectify. You shouldn't objectify people.
He's not a person.
He can talk.
Yeah, but so probably could that little straw man.
That straw man didn't talk.
He could have if he.
No, Nightblood was made by that god, remember? He's like, Nightblood's special. Nightblood was made by the gods. And Nightblood's kind of hot. And at the end of it...
He's a sword. He's a sword.
At what?
How is Nightblood hot?
He gives off this aura. He's got like big dick energy.
They all have auras. They're all... everybody who has breaths in this whole world has auras.
Yeah, and Nightblood's aura says, oh my god, look how hot I am. Okay, but seriously though, at the very end of Wind and Truth, because everybody, if you haven't read it, just blink 4 times and stop watching me talk. I'm assuming you blinked. Okay, so at the end of Wind and Truth, Nightblood has that whole spiel where he's like, I'm not an object. How could he? I'm a person. I'm in charge of myself. How could he not give that whole speech if he was not in charge of his own self? Do you want to know why? He is in charge of his own self because he's hot. Except for this one person online. I don't know who you are, but you ruined my whole life because you said that at the end of Wind and Truth, at the end of the Stormlight Archives, he's going to become a real boy like Pinocchio. And that made me feel gross because I think that at the end of the Stormlight Archives, he's going to become like a hot guy. Like he's going to be like big and buff. He's going to be like Talon, like that one Herald, but it's going to be Nightblood. You can have like smoke behind him. Like a member of Kiss, the band. He's gonna look like that.
No, he's gonna look like he's just gonna be like a tree or something.
No, Nightblood's gonna be like Gene Simmons.
He's gonna be a tree. It's gonna be
Gene Simmons with the makeup. Gene Simmons, Nightblood.
No, he's gonna be a black smoking tree, just on some world hanging out, killing.
I hope all your favorite characters die.
I mean,
in a row.
The odds are high.
One page. Actually, you know what? I know who your favorite characters are. They're all going to die. But I hope they die like one after another.
So who are your other 2? You said...
Adolin.
I forgot because Nightblood's so ridiculous. Who else?
Adolin.
Okay. The peg leg.
Who will be Honor. Listen, he doesn't
even like Honor. He's like anti-Honor.
He doesn't need... And that's why
he hates Honor.
He doesn't need... Listen, that's why he will be Honor. Because he showcases Honor as who he is. And by the way, he doesn't need...
No, he doesn't. He's opposite of Honor. He thinks Honor
cutting
sucks.
me off on my joke. Listen, he doesn't need 3 legs. So he can lose 1. Thank you.
My God.
I've been mentally practicing that when you said peg leg. And moving on to the next thing. The last one is Wit. And Wit is fantastic. I feel we would either get along or kill each other. But Adolin will be Honor because he showcases Honor. Once I get rid of his wife.
I mean, I think she's kind of gone. She's away.
No, I want her gone, like out of the books.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about your opinions on Shallan another day.
Who are your favorite characters?
Well, I have one that's okay. My number 3 could be one of yours. It's between Wit and Wayne. I can't decide between the 2 in the number 3 spot. I feel like Wit wins only because I see him more. But Wayne brings me more joy when I see him on the page. So that's a toss-up. Number 2 is Dalinar, who is like 10 times the man Adolin will ever be.
No, that scene where he says, you cannot have my pain, just reminds me of like a man on the toilet. Like, haven't you ever said that when you've had too much dairy?
No. I've never said that when I had too much dairy or on the toilet. I never said you can have my pain. You can't have my pain.
Then you've never had bad Chinese buffet, but keep going.
Okay. And number 1 is Taravangian, I think, is the best character in the Cosmere. Hands down.
I think that you have no room to talk about anything ever, but that's fine.
Look, the Cosmere would be way more boring without him. And the story is only as good. The heroes can only be as good as a villain. And if there's no good villain,
crotchety old man with a gold cane that 50% of the time can't even tie his own shoelaces, and you're going to give me a lecture about a sword that's got big dick energy. I just want to paint a picture for you. In the grand scheme of life, if I said you have 3 people in your corner, and you pick, and by the way, you didn't say odium, you pick someone who 50% of the time can't tie their own shoelaces,
but 50% of the time can.
50% of the time he can solve a Rubik's Cube? He's still
I'm not saying I want him on my team or he's going to be my best friend.
No, you pick top 3. You go to battle with your top 3.
Top 3 as in like most interesting, like to read about them.
I'm saying, like,
I think they're good.
You're stuck in a canoe with your top 3.
I don't want to be stuck in a canoe with him.
But that's
I don't want to be stuck in a canoe with any of these guys, except I don't want to be stuck in a canoe with Dalinar. I wouldn't even fit in the canoe. He'd tip it over.
If you're stuck in your top 3 in a canoe with your top 3 favorite characters, you're stuck in a canoe with him, okay? First of all, he's a terrible person. Second of all, he can't even, 50% of the time, he sucks. Other half, he's solving a Rubik's Cube. The man has no physical strength. I guarantee you he smells like mothballs.
I mean, he's an older guy.
An older guy?
Yeah, he's an older guy, but you
know
what?
The man's jowls probably drag on the floor.
The guy's got ambition. He's got things he wants to do, and he outsmarted half the entire world, people all around him. He's a great villain. He's a great character. I don't think there's a better character. You can't convince me that there's a better character. You can convince me there's better people.
You don't think there's a better character?
No.
Okay.
If I had to kill off every character, like if there's one character I wouldn't want to die.
You would read a book solely with this guy. One person Broadway show.
I want to read this book just solely based on him. If there is one character I don't want to see die until like the very last page of the Stormlight Archive, it's Taravangian. If he dies like in the first book, then I'd be like, well, this story is going to be really boring now.
No, they
without
wouldn't.
A good villain.
No.
You got Kaladin doing therapy. You got Adolin dancing with swords. You got to have you got to have something for these guys to focus on.
There were a million other ways he could have gone other than here's some creepy old guy that droops, okay? If I gave you a book solely on this guy, if I said here's 400 pages about some old guy that solves Rubik's Cubes.
I'd be down. This guy he's interesting.
You'd be down?
Yeah. I want the diaries of Taravangian. I want that to be like a collectible book where you just see the diaries of him. And
there's I
want a book, a prequel book on his life story.
Why?
Because he's interesting.
Okay, but here's the thing. When he grew up, life was normal. He didn't grow up in like a cool, exciting time. He was just like a spoiled asshole. It wasn't like, cool, this very interesting man. There was no interesting war. There was no interesting anything. He was just a prick.
I don't know.
You know who would have had an interesting life?
Who?
Who was that guy, like the captain of industry, who was like kind of chunky, but he was like in a relationship where she wouldn't marry him?
Yeah, it's one of the heads of the kingdoms, or
High Prince, like Danny DeVito vibes. What was his?
I don't remember his name.
He was Dalinar's best friend, but Dalinar didn't want to admit he was his best friend. Remember that?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they haven't cooked the books all the time.
The very end of Wind and Truth, he gets up to the top of the tower and he's like, I'm gonna, like, this is my big thing. And he's like, okay, good luck. And he's like, oh my God, this guy's my best friend. Like it hits him. And he's like, yeah, I am your best friend. And then he dies. Like that's his final like realization as like a human being at that moment is like, I cannot believe this man is my best friend. That guy. I would be that guy's prologue. That guy's got the best.
That guy would have a good book. He's entertaining.
Paloma, his wife's name was Paloma.
Yeah, that could be like a sitcom. Like if it ever gets expanded into television and movies, they have a little side sitcom with those two. But the
fact that was his, and he was the most loyal out of everybody.
Out of everybody?
He stayed by him. Everybody else left him. Everybody else was scheming, and this guy was like, "I don't care what the fuck you're doing, as long as."
Out of the high princes.
This was
the most talking about everybody
loyal. I mean, out of everybody else was
he's the most loyal because they let him shave it whatever he wants off the top.
Yeah. Compared to what everybody else wanted? Come on. That's such a small thing.
I'm not arguing. I agree.
I cannot believe those are your favorite characters. Dalinar, I understand.
Dalinar, you can't.
Dalinar, I will give you. He's a very. I mean, he's a recovering alcoholic who's like, he's fucking his brother's wife, and he's a terrible father, but he's doing better. But
he's dead now. You can't even look. He went through a whole thing, and now we get to see Blackthorn. Now we get to see his old version again, which I like. Again. I think that's interesting. Blackthorn and Taravangian. That's the story I
think
want.
The next book is going to be Blackthorn versus Adolin.
I mean, an Adolin would get crushed.
No.
What is he going to do?
Okay, let me tell you right now. If we're going back, Blackthorn if we're getting original Blackthorn, you've got an alcoholic. You've got an alcoholic whose wife he just burned to death, trying to be a single father.
This is before the wife burned it.
No, that's the man that we're getting as a reader. We're getting an alcoholic.
No, after he was broken. Blackthorn. This is like Blackthorn. He doesn't care. He's gonna just burn you all down. He's gonna grab your head,
wife.
squish your head
air
like a
fryer
can.
Wife.
He's gonna throw your kids in the fire. That's the Blackthorn we're getting. And Adolin doesn't have a chance. He's got to
Oh no, I think Adolin's.
He's got to train a little bit more. I mean, he's got time.
My money's on Adolin. My money's on Adolin, so long as he ditches the wife.